Hey guys, I'm back. Gonna do something a little bit different today. Gonna talk about guitar tones. From the title of the video, you should understand that this is kind of like the poor man's version of getting a decent guitar tone to record with. I apologize for not making videos lately. The last week I was pretty sick. Couldn't go 2 or 3 minutes without sneezing and coughing, and I'm still a little bit sick, so bear with me, okay? So if you're like me, you've probably already been on YouTube searching for the newest and best guitar impulse or whatever. A lot of the videos on the internet, surfing on the internet right now, are guys who already have really good gear. And the title of their video is something like, yeah, sound like the pros, or in 10 minutes you can sound like the greats. Well, that's such a lie. It's not even funny. If you want to sound like a pro, then you need to be a pro. And a pro works in a professional studio with professional equipment. 99.9% chance if you're listening to this right now, you're not that guy. So, there are a couple things you need to just accept when it comes to home recording if you have very little to no gear. Alright? So, first and foremost, if you have little to no gear, just forfeit any notion that you're going to get that perfect guitar sound. Professional studios with thousands of dollars of equipment and programs, take days and weeks even to find an acceptable tone. So don't expect that you're going to find that type of a tone at your house if you're playing on a $250 guitar directly into your computer. It's not going to happen. Speaking of, this tutorial definitely will be geared towards the people who have a guitar $300 or less. Okay? Bare bone minimum. Direct input into the computer, into the line-in port in the back of your computer. This tutorial is for you. Okay? So pay attention. Alright? Just give you background. I have a no-name branded guitar. It says Invasion on the headstock. I can't even find a picture of it on Google. It has 2 single coil pickups and 1 humbucker pickup. Terrible quality. They're always hissing and humming and making a lot of extra noise. My guitar is very noisy. I can't even do any sort of a tapping solo, even with a hairband on the nut. Just really, really noisy. Okay. But it's the only guitar I have, and believe it or not, that is the guitar I've used to record all the tracks you've heard on my channel. Okay? So it is possible. And I want to make one final note before we start. Remember that bass guitar does exist for a reason, and it is very important. So when you're building your guitar tones, if you're doing it outside of a song just for fun, remember that your bass needs to be somewhere. And in all honesty, your bass should carry all of the bass of your guitar tone. So if your guitar tone's cutting into the 30, the 80, and the 100 range, and you're boosting that in the guitars, don't be surprised when your mix is absolutely unintelligible and muddy. Okay, so just cut it right out. All right. So with that, I want to play you a song I just recorded, "The Axe of Hell," and then I'll show you the steps I took to get the type of a sound, okay? And to prove to you that you can get this decent demo quality sound. Alright, so I got some solo stuff in the back here. Okay, so I recorded that this previous week with that crappy guitar in this program using the same method that I'm going to show you right now. Okay, so let's mute this and get rid of it. So in Reaper, I don't know, whatever you're using, I like to make a parent track and then 2 extra tracks and put it in the parent track. So I make 3 tracks right away, 3 tracks. I renamed the first one rhythm guitar instead of a color. It's a very good habit to get into. Once you start having a whole list of things, you know, and you're doing, and you got this happening, you know, the color means a lot. And then I left and right respectively. I do not quad track unless I do the delay. If I want the 4 guitar sound, I'll do the delay trick. I don't. I like dynamics on music. I don't necessarily want a wall of guitars. Okay, so anyway, that's a different thing. So I'll set all this up, and then the first absolute thing I do is I set up my routing so that these tracks go to the parent, and then I set a high pass, low pass. Now, just the experience of recording with my guitar, I know I need to have a pretty aggressive high pass, low pass. My high pass was all the way up to 125. It's been as high as 130, just based on the song I've been working on, okay, how busy the bass was and stuff. And then I low pass at 9,000. Okay, so you know your guitar better than I do, and you'll just have to experiment with what sounds the best. So, and then the fun starts. Alright, now I can explain what you'll need to get. So, everything here is free except for the impulse, which I will talk about. Alright, so the first thing you need to get is G gate, the guitar gate, and set up according to your guitar. Okay, you can put it. Also, another thing, there are no explicit rules in recording music. If it sounds good, record it. So for me, my guitar sounds best when my gate is first and my EQ is after everything, not before. Whatever, okay? Whatever sounds better. You'll need to get the TSE 808 overdrive pedal. Version 1 is the one I prefer, but they do have version 2. Whatever one works for you, good. And then you need to get the Nick Crow 7170. Now, this is a lead, pretty high gain type of VST, and I'm a fan of high gain and stuff like that, so I love it, of course. And then the settings are all completely up to you. As you can see, I have pretty high gain and a cut in the low and the mid, but you know, that's my own thing. Now, you need to get Le Cab 2.0. Le Cab is great because you can layer impulses, and it's not hard, okay? Now, let me talk about the Messiah Impulse. Messiah Impulse comes from a website called criticalcabs.com. I bought the Messiah Impulse 5 weeks ago. I don't remember exactly when. And at that time, they only had just the one Messiah Impulse. Since then, they've done 2 new versions of the Messiah and have sent them to previous buyers of the Messiah for no charge. So for $5, I've gotten 3 very high quality impulses, literally mix ready, have to do very little to them. And now what they have started doing is they've started including some kick drum sounds to play with as well. So $5, man, you can't even buy a Happy Meal from McDonald's for $5. So you know, go get these impulses. They're really good. And then after that, you need to set up 2 instances of EQ. All right. I like to, once I start making too many cuts, I usually like to make a new one. And I'll also make cuts. I'll also make ones for additive or subtractive EQ. I don't like to put everything on one EQ band. So here I'm high passing, low passing again. But I've also got a cut of 3 dB at the 800 Hertz frequency. Just lets the guitar cut through, gets rid of the boxiness type of tone going on, okay? Now, this is the problem killer, okay? Now, I'm gonna move this out here. I'm gonna solo out this left track. By the way, the riff I played is just some Nile riff. I think it's Sibek or something. I don't remember, okay? I'm not gonna solo this, okay? This frequency. At this frequency, there's such a horrifyingly bad, like a hiss or a white noise sound, that I had to sweep the frequency and find out where it was so I could cut it. Okay, it's a pretty surgical cut. I don't have a very wide Q on it, or a wide bandwidth. I have a very narrow bandwidth just to get that specific frequency out. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and check out what I came up with. In Reaper, it's simple. It's as easy as shift clicking, control, and then going to the next and clicking paste. It's that easy. So let's listen to what I did. Not bad, okay? There are still some things with it, you know, kind of scratchy, noisy, hissy, but for recording a demo, it sounds okay. And for a very cheap guitar plugged directly into the computer, this type of result is nothing short of a miracle, alright? So given with what you have, you can do something to make a sound. You just have to put the effort in to find out what you need to do. Now, I had to do extra things to make my guitar sound good. Which, what I mean by that are my EQ. Alright? So I'm gonna go on my left and right tracks and I'm gonna bypass the EQ. And I'll show you what it sounds like now. Okay? It still sounds good, but we have some problems in the high registers, alright? So, let me show you. Now, we come here. Sounds pretty good. Let me enable it. Okay, show you more of that parts that I personally like. Alright, so this is my sound. Now, once I put this on, notice another thing happening. In this area we get this white noise sound. That's where we get this. So here, listen to the difference. Hear it? I know you can hear it. Okay, now this is disabled. That sound is gone. And that's the type of stuff that you're probably going to have to deal with when you have gear that is low quality or not the best, you know. And that's really all there is to it. I can't give you like a recipe, hey, do this, it'll be good to go. You know, it's all up to your guitar and how you're recording, your playing style. Even maybe I've seen people when they tremolo pick, they bump on into all the other strings, so it's always noisy. It just totally depends on your setup. But these three things right here are what you need to download. Okay, just Google search for them. The gate too. And then the EQ, that's up to you. But I told you how to find the problem spots and what you need to do, okay? And it's completely possible to get a demo type of a quality to record something. You want to show your friend a riff, you want to show your band a riff, or you want to record something just because, alright? You can do it. Just don't set yourself up for failure by thinking that, oh wow, this guy who's got a $1,200 Ibanez 7-string guitar with EMG pickups that he installed himself, just because he can get a really great sound from this catharsis impulse doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get that sound either, okay? Gear is different, and gear, especially guitar, electronics, and humbuckers, and all this other stuff really makes a difference. So, I'll leave it with that.